Hello, everybody. This is Morgan Price, and today we are back into Division 2. It is Tuesday, so it is update day. We are going to go to one of the vendors here at the base of operations and see what they have for us. I've been missing in action for about a week because real life decided that I needed to do something else. So, anyway, we're going to talk to her.
Good to see
And what
you.
we have up for sale today is. Uh, Safety distance, the named SMG with, has damage to target out of cover. That's nice. And perfect outsider. Now, this is not on my list of to buys, but if you can find something, if you can find a way to work with perfect outsider, this is a beautiful setup for it. Moving along, we have a tactical AUG A3P with health damage and streamline. Again, not on my buy list, but Streamline is very good in tinker builds. People really love to pair that with Frenzy. So up next is an FAL SA-58 Para assault rifle with critical hit damage and sadist. So if you are an ongoing directive person, this one is for you. Following that up with a snub-nosed Diceros with damage to armor and strained. This one is a weird one, not on my list to buy, but maybe you can figure out something with it. Just weird. Now we're going to move into the gear. We have the Artificer's Toolbox, which is a shiny monkey gear backpack with creeping death, repair skills, and armor regen. This is a no right out the bat. Too much to make it a viable thing. So, yeah, no. Oh, please tell me that sneeze did not come through. Anyway, up next we have an Overlord Armaments chest piece with empathic resolve and explosive resistance and critical hit damage. Um, I would want this on something with like repair skill and maybe a yellow core. So this is a no. Now we're gonna go do a quick once through of the mods, both weapon and gear. So down we go. Critical hit damage at 10.3%. Not so much. You can find better in the wild. Hollow point bullets with damage reduction. They need to work on their naming conventions. Also a no, but that cost right there is nice and cheap, so that could turn into printer filament very easily. Following that up with duration at 5.8. Nope. And blast radius 4.8. Also, no. You can find better out in the wild.
I appreciate the
Um,
trade.
that wraps up our standard vendor. We're going to go over to the Countdown vendor now. Now, Countdown is a game mode that takes specialized currency. So we're going to pop right up here, talk to the computer, I guess. And up first, we have Cabaret with health damage and perfect thunderstrike. So if you are somebody who I'm not quite sure how to build this into a thing. The health damage is okay. You could turn that into damage to target out of cover. Perfect thunderstrike. I guess if you are supporting somebody who with St. Elmo's or something like that, it would work out well, but I can't think of a reason to buy it myself. Moving along, we have Spot On by Urban Lookout, a named holster with 38% accuracy plus the 10% accuracy from Urban Lookout, so 48% total, and critical hit damage. You can change that critical hit damage into critical hit chance, and it would work out beautifully. Or if you want to swap this critical hit damage with something else, or you can change the weapon damage into like an armor core or whatnot, and use your gear mod to uh, balance out the critical hit damage there. Up next is the named shotgun Coulebre. I don't know how to say that. It's something French. And it has critical hit chance as its attribute and perfect jazz hands. So, perfect jazz hands gives you extra reload speed, and critical hit chance is nice, but I would say go with something like damage to target out of cover. Following that up, you have your normal stuff that is here every single time: name cache, optimization cache, the rise up cache, and the exotic cache. Alrighty, that wraps up the countdown requisitions. So we are going to go check out the guild. Let's do that at a jog. Anyway, we're gonna go check out our guild store. I'm not going to be uh, showcasing my guild because, well, I haven't got permission to do so,
Take a look
and
and
there we
see.
go.
All the best stuff
So
right here.
we've got this guy here. And up first, we have Quiet Roar with damage to armor. This is actually pretty nice. It'll take a little bit to make into a viable weapon, but Quiet Roar also has Perfect Overwhelm. So with LMGs, you can get to where you're suppressing enemies all the time. Works out extremely well. So this would be on my buy list, but I don't have a build for it right now. So I will get one for later. Bing. That one's done. All right. Now we're going into the gear sets. We have hardwired backpack with repair skills. Huh. And you know what? Honestly, hardwired looks like it would be good for just about any skill build, honestly. But again, without experience in that, I don't know. So, not on my list of to buys right now. Moving along, we have a piece of ongoing directive with critical hit damage and maxed out weapon damage. So, this would actually be on my buy list if I didn't have a piece already maxed out. So, I would buy this and change that critical hit damage to critical hit chance. And yeah, it would just work out very well. Moving along, we have a Cavalier holster. This is a no buy for me. Um, I use cover way too much, and Cavalier is totally one of those you're out of cover doing something. So, ouch. Uh, Moving down to the weapons, we have high-end weapons here. We have a classic M1A rifle with critical hit chance and lucky shot. Um, Not on my buy list. And then a military M9 with critical hit damage and determined. Also not going to buy that one. Uh, Determined's not a bad thing. It's just on this, which doesn't have the damage kick of other pistols. It's a no. Moving along into a piece of gear, we have a Legatus mask with skill haste and critical damage. I would change that skill haste into critical hit damage, and you have a perfectly serviceable mask, but this is not one of my buys. Up following that is a Marine Super 90 with magazine size and Thunderstrike. Um, the amount of work you have to put into this makes it a no in my book. Then we have a 511 tactical set of knee pads with critical chance and skill haste. So I would change that skill haste into critical hit chance, but currently not on my buy list. Moving right along, we have a shiny monkey gear holster with critical hit damage and weapon handling. I would prefer this to be a double yellow with skill repair or repair skills or something other than red. I'm moving to the second piece of shiny monkey gear, pair of knee pads with critical hit chance and explosive resistance. Again, I'd prefer a double yellow on this, but overall, not not too bad in the offering boxes here. You can figure out ways to use that, but I wouldn't buy it. Moving down to the mods. First up, we have skill duration at 9.0% even. So you can find better out there. This is a no. Another 9% skill duration, same as before. Then we have 4.4 duration for traps and plus 4% bonus or damage bonus per enemy. I believe that this is for the firewall shield that has the damage cone in front of you. So if you need something for that, yeah, but I don't know. I haven't used it myself.
I'm happy that
And
worked out.
that wraps up the base of operations. So we are going to wind up going to, I believe, the campus next. All righty, welcome to the campus. We are here and we're going to go down to the vendor here as quickly as possible. All right, so here's our
Check
vendor.
out what I've got.
Hello. Oh, not bad at all. Okay, so not what I would normally say grab, but so Unit Alloys is last season's uh, gem, and Salvo is one of the better holsters that came into the game last season. I would want this with critical hit chance, but if you don't have Salvo, this is a place to get it, and you can edit what you need to make it what you want. Plus 10% total rate of fire is very nice to have. Moving along, we have an M700 tactical marksman rifle with critical hit damage and breadbasket. Breadbasket is pretty decent, so you could change that critical hit damage to something
Hello?
else, like damage to targets out of cover. It would work out very well. After that, we have a GR9 with steady-handed and damage to armor. So this is actually very good. I already have one with steady-handed, but what steady-handed will do is once you get 100 stacks of steady-handed, it refills your magazine. So essentially, you can have a poor man's Bullet King, because how it refills your magazine is out of some magic pocket dimension that's filled with bullets. It doesn't take from your ammo supply directly. It just fills the mag. So this is great if you want to have a poor man's Bullet King and extend out your ammo going along. So I would buy this. Moving down the line, we have a Sokolov Concern that is double red with weapon handling and critical hit damage. So you can balance this out by putting a critical hit chance into that gear mod, have a little bit of extra weapon handling. Be very nice. Moving on to the next bit, another double red from Urban Lookout with critical hit chance and critical hit damage. I would say that this is a must. The only thing that would be better than this for Urban Lookout would be if it had weapon handling and headshot damage. Those two right there would make this the diamond in the rough, but it makes it maybe a ruby.
Nice to see you,
So anyway, this one is worth buying. Moving to the mods, we have 8.2 skill duration, that's a no. 5.8 heal, also no. Reviver armor repair. This is not bad if you equip it on your Reviver Hive and have it boost. So I will grab one. Have it boost your armor if you're doing one of those self-sufficient builds where you rely on your Reviver Hive. This will give you a bit more armor on top of that. Up next is skill haste for your pulse and duration for your trap, and those are no's.
Customers like
So that wraps up this section. So we are going to go to the Dark Zone next. It will be Dark Zone West, I believe. So we'll see you there. And welcome to Dark Zone West Alpha Checkpoint. That's the best place to go to get to this guy immediately. He will be to the
Anything to
right
look for?
outside, just under the awning. Now, a note about Dark Zone vendors and their stuff. You have to have special tokens, much like Countdown, in order to purchase. So, special currency, hooray. Anyway, first up, if you can get this, this is actually a good one to get, is rock and roll. This one was swap speed, but because it has a perfect talent, you can change that out for whatever you like damage to targets out of cover. That's kind of the basic one everybody wants. Anyway, rock and roll is one of those that it's on a lot of heartbreaker builds. So yeah, grab this; it'll help. Up next is a Super 90, not a Marine Super 90, just a Super 90 with critical hit, damage, and immobilize. You can change a few things out and get what you want on this, but personally, this is not on my buy list. Up next after that is a classic M1A with back and forth and damage to target out of cover. This is not a bad one at all. So back and forth is one of the new talents that just came out this season, and it rewards swapping back and forth between weapons. As you can see, you get extra rate of fire and weapon damage out of back and forth, and it goes both ways. Not the same amount, but decent. Also, if you do not have this in your library, and I will show you briefly, wrong button. I will show you briefly what I mean by that. If you check your library and you do not have that for marksman rifles, this is a place to get it. In fact, I may have to go into the dark zone and get some
Welcome, agent.
tokens after this. Anyway, moving right along, we have. Oh no, it's for rifles, not marksman rifles. So I already have that one. I don't need to go to the dark zone. Hooray! Next up, we have Foundry Bulwark gloves with repair skills. This is a no for me. You would want that to be either critical hit chance or like armor regen or armor on kill. Up next is an Eclipse Protocol knee pads with repair skills. You can change that repair skills out for status effect, and that would make this actually better, but not top of my list of things to buy. Moving along, we have Walker Harris and Company gloves with hazard protection and repair skills, and I'm going to say a big fat no to this one because it would take too much to turn this into something good. It's just horrible that way. Up next, we have Y'all Gear. Now, a caveat, if you find Y'all Gear in a normal vendor, buy the heck out of it. This takes special currency, so it's not worth it to buy and break down for the special parts. So anyway, this has explosive resistance and repair skills, so nothing on this says, hey, this is great for me. All right. Now we're going to check out the mods real quick. So we have 11% protection from elites. You want 12 at a minimum, so nope. Extra radius for your seeker mind, no. Shield health, if you don't have one, get one, but I can't justify anything more than that. Blind effect duration, you can find better out in the wild. Duration, again, you can find better out in the wild. And as always, an exotic cache. They have these at every dark zone. You can, as long as you get the money for it, you can buy yourself an exotic. It's random exotic, but it's an exotic. Okay, so we are going to go to our next location, and that is going to be Dark Zone South. So off we go. And welcome to Dark Zone South, right out of the Alpha checkpoint. There, directly to the right. This is also one you can go to the actual fast travel point and still be right there, but
Nothing
I've
to make a
taken to just
deal?
going to the alpha checkpoints on these. Okay, first up for this dark zone is Orbit with critical hit damage and perfect finisher. You can change that critical hit damage to something else. Now, perfect finisher is great for things, so this is on the must buy. If I didn't already have one, I would be buying this. Moving along, we have a CMMG Banshee with Reformation and Stability. This is a no on my list. Up next is a Mark 16 assault rifle with swap speed and overflowing. This is a no because you can only choose one thing to change, and I'm gonna say uh, you'd want to change overflowing or swap speed, and neither of those things will work out well. Moving up, we have a 586 Magnum with swap speed and killer. Killer is perfectly great, but it's a little bit better on higher rate of fire weaponry and larger magazines. So this is a no. Up next is an ongoing directives backpack with armor regen and, well, it's normal stuff. So this you can change into critical hit chance or whatever you need, but in general, this would be a no. Up next is a Negotiator's Dilemma chess piece with repair skills. So, yeah, that just doesn't fit any build that I can think of. So, moving along, we have a Gila Guard with Bloodsucker, which is great. Skill Haste. I wonder if Bloodsucker works with skills. I mean, it does technically count as you killing him. Hmm. Something to think about. There's a lot of investment to make this better, and I would say no to buying it myself. Following that, we have a Grupo Sombra chess piece with skilled armor regen and skill haste. Uh, yeah, this is a no. I can't think of a build I can do with that setup right there. It hurts my soul just a little bit. Following this up, we have our mods. 7.4% headshot damage. That's a no. 6.5% armor repair. And again, their naming conventions are just wonky. Additional ordnance has nothing to do with armor repair. Oh well. This is a no. Followed by 5.7 duration for your turret. No. And plus 4% burn duration for your sticky bomb. Also no. And as always, that exotic cache.
Thanks for the
So up
business.
next is the castle. So we're going to head that way and see you there. And welcome to the castle. So by far the best place to fast travel to is the descent because it puts you right by the store. And hello, buddy. How you doing, Ransom? Can I interact with you, or are you just on patrol now? Looks like you are on patrol. Oh well, carry on with your duties, sir. We're gonna go to this vendor right here, and first up we have Relic with critical hit chance. Not bad, not bad. It's gonna take some investing to make better, but with a perfected talent, it means you can change up whatever you like in the attributes section. I will say this is not on my list of buys because there are more powerful um, rifles out there that you could get determined on. You don't need perfect determined. Okay, moving along. We have a SOCOM Mark 20 SSR with precision strike and magazine size. For me, this is a no. Um, Precision strike for me just doesn't work out well because I have trouble gauging how far away someone is, and there's no easy way to range find them. So, no. Following that up, we have a classic M60 with Sledgehammer. This is a no on my end. having to use grenades to deal damage is a pain because everybody jumps out of the way of the grenades. It's hit or miss, and I want dependable damage. Following that up, we have a Palisade Steelworks mask with maxed out armor regen. Decent armor, wouldn't take too much to bring that up. And status effects. Now, with status, you could get rid of that status effects and put like armor on kill. Yeah, armor on kill plus the 10% armor on kill that you get. I think that equals out to roughly 20% armor on kill, and that is definitely something worth working with. So Palisade Steelworks, it is the armor on kill king because it gives you 10%. Pair that with Gunner, that's 30%. Nice. Well, yeah, uh, you guys know how to figure that one out. Anyway, up next we have a Xenogetica holster with skill haste and explosive resistance. This one is a no, flat out, straight out the door. I'm looking at this guy and it's just like, eh. But it does match with that Palisade Steelworks. You get 2 pieces of this that gives you 5% total armor and 10% armor on kill. You get 3 pieces of Palisade, giving you armor on kill and health. Yeah, you can do something pretty dang amazing with these 2 gear brands, as far as armor on kill and making sure you stay alive long. But you'll kind of hit like a wet noodle. I'll be honest. All right, moving along to the mods, we have 16.6 repair skills. That's a no. Radius for your chem launcher, so nope. Duration for your hive, no thank you. Health for your pulse, must be for your deployable pulse. No thanks. Trap improvement or duration, nah. That's also a no. So, okay, that is the castle. Next up is DZ East. We are going to head there right now.
Hostile control.
And welcome to DZ East. So, this vendor is on the left outside of the door, and we're going to go see what she has for us. First up, we have Pinprick, named marksman rifle with reload speed and perfect first blood. I would say change out that reload speed for damage to targets out of cover. This is a nice rifle. Not the greatest, but it'll do in a good pinch. Following that up, we have the SOCOM Mark 20 SSR with magazine size and first blood. That's a surprise. Normally, you don't have 2 similar things in the box. Anyway, this is a no for me. Though you could get it for first blood and use that with a Tinker's Mask and a Headhunter or Determined. Yeah, use that with Determined and it does similar things. Following that up, we have the military Mark 46 with Optimus and damage to armor. This is perfectly serviceable and I would buy it. Moving along, we have Aces and Eights mask with critical hit chance. Not bad. The only thing better than this would be headshot damage. And then this is not on my buy list because I don't know how to figure out the Aces and Eights yet. Following that up, we have an ongoing directive holster with armor regen. That is a no, right out the door. Yeah, you could turn it into something you could use, but sometimes you want something to where you could change that core attribute to something else. Following that up, we have a Golden Gear mask with explosive resistance and hazard protection. That says no to me because unfortunately, as much as it would be nice to be able to use those things, They're not. They're not. You have to have a very specific goal in mind. Moving along, we have a Hasberg Guard holster, also with explosive resistance, so that kills it in my book too. All right. Excuse me. Pardon me. We have the mods next. So let's see. This mod is Skill Haste 9.9. No, thank you. Radius for Chem Launcher. No, thanks. +4 Stinger charges. Yes, I would get this if I didn't have one of my own. I would get this every single day. That's the only kind of mods that I would buy directly, is anything that improves how many charges you have, how many rounds you have, how many targets you can cover, anything like that. That's what you get. So yeah. Anyway, I thought I had one. Weird. I can't afford it right now. So up next is cone size for pulse, and then duration for trap. So no and no. And of course the exotic cache.
Pleasure doing business.
All right. That, my friends, wraps up Dark Zone East. So off we go
You know you
to
want to, so
the
come on over.
theater. All righty, welcome to the theater, and here is
I
our
see you.
vendor. Up first, we have Whisper, the named M16, with perfectly behind you, and it has optimal range. So, optimal range is weird. Uh, Honestly, you want to stick with some more normal stuff. Put damage to target out of cover on that. It'll serve you much better. Moving along, we have an SASG-12 with swap speed and ignited. So this is great for all you pyromaniacs out there. You can change that swap speed to damage to target out of cover and use survivalist fire grenades
Hello.
and work from there. All right. Up after that is the SIG 716 CQB with damage to. Oh, that hurts my soul even more than some of the other things. That damage to target out of cover would have been great if it was over 5%. That hurts a lot. I mean, the core attributes are beautiful for this, but that it makes me sad. Eyeless amplifies weapon damage to blinded enemies, so it is workable into any build that you want to do that deals blindness. There's flashbang grenades from, I believe, the sharpshooter specialization. Anyway, moving along, we have Urban Lookout gloves with skill damage and explosive resistance, and that's a no. Sorry, not buying that one. Following that up, we have a Richter and Kaiser knee pads with skill haste and critical chance. I would keep. Honestly, you could probably do both of those. Though Richter Kaiser seems to want to go into the realms of being healer centric. So, yeah, check it out. If you want to do a healer, you can change that skill haste to repair skill, or not skill haste. You can change that critical hit chance to repair skills, and this would do very well on a healer build. Moving into the mods, we have 8.6 disorient resistance. That's a no. 4.9 skill haste for your Seeker Mines. That's a no. Shield health for your shield. That's also no. Max targets. Yes, I'd buy this. I already have one, so I don't need more, but max targets is always a good buy. And duration for your decoys. No, thank you.
Thanks for the deal.
And after this, we're going to Brooklyn. So let's head there. And welcome to Brooklyn. We're going to go back here and see the vendor, Marcus Fenton.
Hey, Agent. You looking to
So,
trade?
what he has for us is an AUG A3 CQC with damage to targets out of cover and in sync. So, if you are going to be doing a skill build, this is one of the weapons for you, especially if you can't find a test subject. Test subject is a P90. I had the name of the word, and now I can't remember. Anyway, InSync is great for skill builds, and this will serve you very well in a skill build. Following that up, we have a tactical M249 para with killer and magazine size. So you could change that magazine size to something like damage to targets out of, well, no, already has damage to targets out of cover. You can change magazine size to something like damage to armor. There you go. And this would come out very, very well. Moving along, we have a Marine Super 90 with Thunderstrike and accuracy. This is a no because it would take too much to fix. So, card 45 with damage to armor and sadist. I'm not sure I could build something around this, but if you want to, there you go. A double red wyvern wear, headshot damage and critical chance, and composure. Now, not something I would buy myself, but I'm sure you're creative enough to come up with build a build that features this. Moving on, we have Providence Defense with status effect and weapon handling. This is a no. There's too much to fix. Arialdi Holdings with armor regen and skill damage. Also no. Moving into the mods, we have Skill Haste, even 10%. If you don't have anything, this will work for you. Disorient Resistance 8.5. That's a no. Damage bonus per enemy. I'm not sure which one this would apply to best because it's on par with that other one that said damage bonus per enemy, but I don't know what it covers. Following that up, we have duration for hives and skill haste for sticky, and those are both no.
Thanks for trading with me.
Okay, moving along. We're going to New York next. So, zoom. And welcome to you. Pardon me. Welcome to New York. We're going to pop up to the vendor up here real fast and see what he has for us.
Hey there. You
All
got
right,
something to
so
trade?
he has a honey badger with stability and close and personal. I would say no to this just on principle. Close and personal is one of those. If it was on an SMG, that's great. On a assault rifle, which is kind of medium to long range, no. Following that up, we have a SOCOM Mark 20 SSR with Ranger and health damage. I would change that health damage to something else. Damage to target out of cover. That's a thing apparently. That being said, we're going to move on to the UIC 15 Mod 2 with strain and rate of fire. I would change that rate of fire. Strained is a perfectly good talent, but this is not on my buy list. Up next, we have a card 45 with accuracy and in sync. I could work with this, especially if I'm just plinking at the enemy to proc the talent and not try to kill everybody. Yeah, that's workable. Following up, we get into the gear. We have the brand new Royal Works backpack. This one with protector,
Buy? I want to
hazard
sell. Come
protection,
check out my
headshot
stock.
damage. Um, I would not purchase this one myself, but having that protector for your backpack actually sounds pretty good, especially if you were gonna like loop it in with a Foundry Bulwark set or something or other. All right, moving along, we have Xenogetica gloves with hazard protection and repair skills. This is This would be on my list. You change that repair skills to something like armor on kill or whatnot, and you can make a good durable build. Ignore everything, but everything ignores you in turn. Anyway, moving along, we have a Brazos holster with skill damage and hazard protection. This personally is a no buy, but meh. If it's up your alley, you can definitely see using it. Moving on into the mods, we have Disrupt Resist of 8.5, so no. Skill Haze 10.1, also no. Duration 5.9 for your turrets, no thank you. Max targets, if you didn't buy it elsewhere, you could buy it here. Following that up, we have a Sticky Launcher Blast Radius, that's a no, and that stops this vendor up here. So, no, not that way, this way. Off we go to the next one. Let's do it at a jog. Trot, 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 do 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 into the garden here. Oh, puppy. Oh my goodness, look at your paws. Those are huge. You're gonna be a horse. Your head is weirdly big too. What else do you do? I know you're supposed to have secondary interactions. Oh, so adorable. I think the cat is out doing its rounds, being a good mouser. So let's talk to Roy Benitez here. He is our last vendor, and he has different offerings than the guy out in the front. So first up, we have the CMMG Banshee with strained and critical hit damage. This is not bad. You can make it better, but how you do that is up to you. This is not on my buy list, though. Up next, we have a military Mark 46 light machine gun with close and personal and optimal range. This is a no, too much to fix. Following that, we have a USC 45 ACP with determined and health damage. If it was a heavier hitting rifle, yes. Not so much with this one. Following that, we have a Police 686 Magnum with damage to targets out of cover and eyeless. Great for your sharpshooter build if you are throwing out those flashbang grenades. Moving into the gear, we have an Alps Summit with skill damage and hazard protection and tamper proof. This unfortunately says no to me. There's things I could do to make it better, but right now, not so much. Though I will say this, if it shocks people that get near your skills, you could probably use that with anything that has Thunderstruck. Oh, what do you know? I just figured out something that you can build upon. Up next, we have 511 Tactical Gloves with critical hit damage and armor regen. That is the most even distribution of brand bonuses I've ever seen. Anyway, I would say no to this personally just because it doesn't suit my playstyle right now. Up next is a Gila Guard mask with health and explosive resistance. Now, again, armor regen, armor on kill, those kind of things would make sense with this. Not explosive resistance. Anyway, moving into the mods, we have critical hit damage at 9.9. Great if you don't have anything, but you find better out in the wild. Skill haste, no. Extra mortar ammo, yes. 7.9% hive health, no. And extra duration for your decoy. If you don't have something, perfectly fine, but there's better. Alrighty. that wraps up this part of the world. We're going to go out and find an outro point. I love finding places that are neat to look at. Is it dark outside? It is dark outside. But, alrighty. Okay, with that, thank you so much for watching. If you like this, click that thumbs up button, leave a comment down below to let me know how I'm doing, and consider subscribing. I will see you next time. Bye.